everybody, welcome back to another
Wood Stove Wednesday.
Shazam. So on Wood Stove Wednesdays, we basically just tell little stories, a little bit about ourselves, bring up topics that we want to talk about. And for this Wood Stove Wednesday, we're going to talk about our week from
hell.
Yeah, so why we were unable to get a video out last week was because we had actually went into town, but we had left like everything here because we were just supposed to go in and then come straight back out, do some shopping and come right back out.
We call that a turn and burn.
A turn and burn.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. So it was a little icy, right?
Yeah.
It was icy. And so when we pulled into the marina there, where the boat launch is and the dock and everything,
we see a lot of activity happening.
There's a lot of activity going on, but we can't see. We just see the two docks, and we see a couple boats. We see the ramps, and we see a couple of boats on the dock.
Yeah.
One boat, no, two boats. And so we're like, what? And then we see one car on the ramp, and we're like, what is going on? So we get a little closer, and what we realize is, and that car was like diagonally on the ramp. It wasn't like, and I was like, I wonder if he slid off. And so now I'm thinking, I'm like, well, we're gonna have to chain up and because the ramp's obviously slippery. But then we get even closer, and it's
a really big boat.
No, it's what was on the ramp.
Oh, a tow truck.
Yeah, there was a tow truck on the ramp.
Yeah.
And it was diagonally. And so he had his cable stretched out from this ramp across the dock, across the other ramp, and down a hill, a rocky hill. So then we get even closer, and we're like,
oh, that's not good.
That's not good at all. So it was a boat who had so we'll fast forward a little bit. I talked to somebody that witnessed it, and they said that the boat was too big for the truck that was backing it down. It was a little slippery, and maybe they didn't know what they were doing a little bit. So he kind of slid back a little. His truck was too light for, I think it was like a 26 or 28 foot boat, and it jackknifed a little, and so the boat went off the ramp down the hill of this rocky hill.
Yeah, it was a big mess.
So the cable was stretched across both ramps, so they were. I mean, there was nothing we could do. We couldn't pull our boat out, and so we went to the harbor master's office and said, like, hey, we need a place to keep our boat tonight, because obviously this ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And so we just stored our boat there. But it was crazy because they had two divers diving down. I mean, they had all the containment stuff for oil and fuel, because the boat actually, the tail end of it was submerged, but the trailer and the top of the boat was just on the rocks like this. The bottom of the boat, and it was an outboard, so both big outboards were like completely underwater.
And we heard the guy didn't have boat insurance.
Yeah, that's what we heard. So then a big landing craft pulled up, and it had a crane on it, so the landing craft pulled up next to it. They hooked the boat up to the landing craft's crane, and it just kind of picked it up. But we left because we had other stuff to do. We didn't get to see the...
Yeah, so what happened was also it was supposed to be good weather, but then by the time 3 o'clock rolled around...
No, yeah. It went from like 15 knots and 3-foot seas to like 25 knots small craft advisories and 6-foot seas. And we were like, no.
So we were stuck in town for like 4 days because of bad weather, without equipment, without
any sound, without our cameras or anything. So we could have uploaded a video if we had had a video, but we didn't have a video.
And then, so by the 4th day, finally
Day 3, we were like, all right, we're going to go. Yeah. All right, we're going to go.
And then we wake up that morning.
And it's just...
Dense fog alert.
Yeah. You couldn't see your car from the front, out in the driveway, from the front window. It was just thick.
And
you remember those cartoons where they used to cut the fog and like...
And then that goes on for 2 days, right? Yeah, 2 straight days.
Well, and then we went out one day, but she said it was too rough, so we turned around.
It was too rough.
Wasn't that rough?
I'm the one who's kept this alive this long. You have to realize that.
So then the next day...
It's supposed to be good weather. Like, it called for good weather.
No, yeah. But I'm talking about the day after we launched.
Oh, God, it gets so much better.
Then the day after we launched and came back, we were like, all right, cool, we'll try tomorrow. And then, so the next day, we go to the ramp.
We're driving.
Yeah, we're driving with our trailer, and we're at the dock and the boat launch, and then we hear this like crazy sounds coming from the back of the back of the trailer.
Driving to the boat launch.
And so she gets out and she's like, well, let me see if I can hear what it is. And so I pull forward a little bit and back up.
Well, no, before that, I get out of the truck and I look down and our tire's like smoking.
Yeah.
And it smells really bad.
So she gets out and I pull forward and back up. And then we hear like this loud explosion.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was like a big kaboom.
Really?
I heard it.
I didn't.
So long story short, we stood there and debated like 10 minutes.
This is how it went. He goes, do you just want to go? And I said,
I was like, yeah, let's go.
I go, well, is that the smart thing to do? And of course, in your mind,
I was like, yeah, of course it's a smart thing to do.
It was not the smart thing to do.
So we, long story short, it was the bearings had went out on both sides.
Because I think something happened on one side and then we drove with it. Because you were like...
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm just getting home. I'm getting home. It's only like 5 minutes from maybe 8 minutes from the boat ramp to her mom and dad's house. So I was like, well, I'm just taking it home. We'll fix it. And so when we got to her house...
I looked down. I go, hey, babe, there's really something wrong. There's something wrong with the other tire.
We were on hub. There was no bearing. It was just hub, just blip, blip, blip. I mean, we were going slow, but the wheel could definitely have just popped off because there was nothing really holding it on. So, anyways, luckily they had the hubs we needed at the boat shop that we do our business with. So they sold us 2 hubs. We put 2 hubs on, and then the next day we rolled out. Mm-hmm. So that's 4 days. So day 1, we couldn't turn and burn because some guy slid his boat off the ramp. Day 2, fog. Day 3, rough weather. And day 4 was our bearings blew up.
And then the next day we started out, which was really good, right? And then
what happened? I don't remember anything else happening.
By the time we got to where it was like 50 knots. Remember?
Oh yeah, but we was already here.
Like when we were
crossing over, and it just started getting crazy.
So fast.
Yeah. And literally by the time we were trying to put our boat on our trailer here at the island.
It was 50 knots out there.
Yeah, the boat, like it was hard because like if this was our trailer, we'd pull the boat next to it and then the boat would just go whoosh, and it was rough.
We didn't even do that. No. When we got here, we couldn't get the stuff out of the boat, so we had to put it on the
outhaul.
The outhaul.
Yeah.
And then we came home until low tide.
High tide.
Yeah.
Oh, low tide got the stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we, like it was the next day, I think we dealt with the boat or something.
So, yeah. It's never a dull moment here. Never.
Or with you.
I had nothing to do with this. Except I was like, I'm taking the boat home. Taking this trailer home. Right.
We should have definitely had that conversation on film. Oh well,
Gonna
so.
taking a nap. But next week's video, what are we going to talk about? Oh, next week's Woodstove Wednesday, we're going to talk about how not to move to Alaska. Like, the wrong way to go about it.
There you go.
It should be good.
Good story time.
It's going to be a good story. It's going to be a great story. So, let's take a quick break. And I've got the commenter of the week here. So the commenter of the week is Joe. Oh, I'm sorry. She's got to do the drum roll. And I don't want to mispronounce your name at the end, so I'm going to do the best I can. The commenter of the week is Joe Kutch. Joe comments a lot, and I appreciate every comment that he says. And he says, oh, and this was on the off-grid community and why it's important to look out for your neighbors and vice versa. And he says, dang, that's some white and crunchy sand. Oh, dang, that's the whitest and crunchiest sand I've ever seen. It's true. It was white and crunchy. So thank you, Joe, for your comment. We really appreciate all the comments that you leave us. If you want to be commenter of the week, what do you got to do?
If you want us to know, comment below.
If you want us to know, comment below. So the Southeast Alaska's crazy. So last week we had a foot of snow, and it was still snowing, and then it warmed up to like 34 degrees, 34 up to 38. But it's Southeast Alaska, so it just rains all the time. And within 4 days, snow gone.
After you fell and
Oh my gosh.
knocked yourself
Same
out.
week, by the way. This is the same week. It started raining, and everything just turned to, because it would rain, and then at night it would freeze. And so it was just like a sheet of ice. And so this is when we were going in. So this is how our week started. I forgot all about this. We were going in, and we were just busting our buttocks left and right, slipping and sliding. And so I was like, I took a big old 5-gallon bucket and went down to the beach, got some sand. I'm like, I'm going to throw some sand around. I started sanding the stuff. And then she got to a spot where she was slipping hard. And I was like, just stay put. I'll get the bucket. So I went and got the bucket. And I'm coming over to sand her little area. And I did like a Scooby-Doo, like a bloop, bloop, and I smacked my head so hard, my headlamp flew off. I'm pretty sure my shoes flew off. It's crazy. It's like Tony Hawk skateboarding video back in the early 90s.
That's how it started, you're right.
And then it just went downhill from there.
You did have a little bump on your head, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a small concussion. No big deal. It's not like I haven't. So, when we were... Where were we? Colorado or Germany? I was snowboarding. Colorado. I was snowboarding. I was on my own. I mean, I had left the group that I went with, and I was doing like just a little like a 90. Like I was going reverse and just did a little 90, but I caught my edge hard and I went whack and just smacked my head. And I mean, I blacked out, smacked my head, and when I was coming to, I heard Barry Manilow music like over the intercom system on the slope.
That's how your mind works, huh?
And then I realized there's no loudspeakers on the slope, and there was no Barry Manilow music. It was all up here. So now you know, secretly, deep down inside, I love Barry Manilow. So,
Oh, God.
anyways, guys, we really appreciate you guys and all your support you give us. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Awesome.
How's that look?
If you want us to know, make a comment below.
It's perfect.
It's so
Here, sit up straight. That's better. That's not better.
Dude, I'm not going to be sitting up straight because I'll be all stiff and shit.
Welcome back, everybody.
Did I say I'll be all stiff and shit?
Come on, let's hurry this up because my back's on fire already.
Okay, hurry up because it won't be a big one. Go ahead.